inaugural comiccon panel.
Well, we've got questions.
We do. Gentlemen, ladies, welcome. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Ackles. Here's the thing. A lot going on with Dean this year. As we saw in that last trailer, you are now Michael. You are doing something different. How is that? Because your Dean, over the years, has had a lot of things going on with him, but this is the first time you've really been embodying another character for this much time. How has that been as a performer for you, and how do you feel it's going story-wise?
Well, I guess technically speaking, there isn't a whole lot going on for Dean. Dean's kind of sitting shotgun right now while Michael is driving. So it was a little challenging because normally you come back from having your break and kind of slide into you got to keep the dust off and get those muscles working again. And to do it playing somebody completely different was certainly a little bit more challenging than anticipated, but very exciting, very fun. And I've gotten to work with have some cool scenes with some pretty cool people, so that's been exciting.
Right, and out of curiosity, because Dean, the Michael you embodied has a completely...
Really quickly, I hadn't seen that scene yet, and that was my first time to see it, and I kind of got chills. I was like, way to go, Ackles.
Yeah, nice.
It's also just really cold backstage, so...
And he's nursing the flu, but the point is,
But also,
the look of Michael, very different than how we picture Dean. Were you involved in crafting that? Is that something that you got involved in since it was a character you were playing?
Yeah, a little bit. There was some collaboration there. I threw out a few ideas. As some of you may know, I'm a big fan of the show Peaky Blinders, and that's obviously no surprise. But it wasn't, obviously we're not cut and pasting that necessarily, but definitely that kind of timeless look I was hoping to have for Michael, and as he is kind of a timeless figure. So it was certainly a collaboration. I was happy that I got to help with that.
Was there anything specifically you pulled inspiration from for developing the character? So I was paying attention, knowing what where the story was going. I tried to pay attention to what Christian was doing with Michael last year, who I think did an exceptional job, and I actually pulled him aside during the last episode, and I asked him, I was like, hey, is there anything that you kind of keep in mind? Or is there some sort of a checklist that you do before you go on camera? Maybe a little tidbit that I could help use, that I could keep that continuity in the Michael that I'm playing. And he said, yeah, let me show you. I do this. And he gets up, and he's got that long coat, and he just does it. So that's it. So I've been nailing that ever since.
this is what I do when I walk into a CVS, but it never works as well. Andrew, what's it like crafting the show? What's it like balancing what Dean is as a character versus what he becomes, possessed by Michael?
Well, I think when he's possessed by Michael, he is Michael. Dean is there, and he's aware of what's going on, but he's not really coming to the fore. So Dean's Michael, and Dean, of course, will not be returning to the show.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Good night. In terms of the rhythm, like the word choices, you guys are working with the writers and developing that character. This obviously, Michael's going to have a different, entire pattern of speech and word choice and everything than Dean, I would assume. So that goes into that struggle. Does any of Dean ever seep out? Is there any sort of a mix of the two in this creation?
Well, I think with Michael, Dean's a funny character and pop culture savvy, and Michael's none of those things. I think some of Dean's mannerisms do seep out occasionally, but Michael's not a funny character necessarily, which has been a problem for the show because we try to give more jokes to Misha and it did not work.
No, it's not. Wow. Ouch.
That's why we watch the show.
They're like family, everybody.
Yeah. It's the sitcom spinoff, Andrew and Misha. All right, Jared, we have a question for you, Mr. Padalecki. So we know at least.
Love you, man.
Thank you so much. We know where Dean is starting.
Thanks, Mom.
What's going to be your role with the Apocalypse Hunters? Are you like a pledge in their frat? So is there hazing involved? But how is Sam dealing with Dean's dilemma?
I think, thank you for the question. I feel like Sam this year has kind of taken, at least in the beginning, has taken on more of a leadership role, you know? His brother's not around, and so he's sort of distracted. He hasn't shaved in a little bit.
Woo! So freaking hot! The mic's on.
Oh shit.
See, Bob? See, Andrew? No, so I feel like he's kind of all of these people whom he's never met but have been through crazy wars of their own are now sort of under his watchful eye in the bunker. We saw them all get there last year. And so Sam, without Dean for however long, sort of needs to take the cues and the lessons he's learned from Dean and try and sort of pass them on to all the Apocalypse World Hunters, who are all kind of living under this one crazy roof. It's like the new Brady Bunch. That's what we're going for. So, yeah, it's a fun new part of Sam.
Awesome.
Scooby-Doo last season, Brady Bunch this season.
So, Misha,
We should call him.
Cass, don't get angry at them. They're supporting you. Jeez, you with the glancing. Cass is now kind of stepping into a more hunter role, it seems like. He's sort of more on the front lines in this struggle. How has that changed Cass's perspective and relationship with the boys in terms of the absence of Dean and now having to step into that position?
I think that this is definitely a roll up his trench coat sleeves moment for Cass, where he's.
Even Al is like,
I don't think
Sorry,
he's
Misha.
kidding.
Sorry. And he's also taking Jack under his wing a little bit because Jack is struggling with some of the same things that
I don't know what you're talking about. I see no similarities.
that Cass has gone through in the past.
Right.
And Can I ask you guys a question? Sorry, is that all right? If
Have at it.
go for it.
So you cast Alex on the show, and Alex looks exactly like me. And I was wondering, like,
Just better and younger.
well, wait. No, it's actually like it feels like a whole generation now has lapsed on the show, and Alex to date won't submit to a paternity test. I keep trying to get a DNA sample from him.
Keeps asking for the 23andMe, and I'm like, no, not today, sir.
But are we at some point going to find out that like really Cass was the dad or something like that?
What do you think, Bob?
Spoiler alert.
I don't think they look anything alike.
Okay.
Okay, they look exactly alike.
That is the nicest thing you've ever said to Alexandra.
No, they look, you guys look related. It's creepy. There's a thing there. There's a through line.
Wait till I start wearing a trench coat, then that will be like the confirmation, I think.
Can you talk in a really boring voice? Wait till I wear a trench coat.
Well, now that we brought up Alex, we've lobbed over to Alex. Alex, first of all, welcome to your first Comic-Con panel.
I'm not even gonna try to play it cool. This is awesome. So, yeah. Thanks, guys.
So how do you feel, Alex? I mean, Jack is slotting into this recipe as well. I mean, there's a lot going on in terms of not having Dean around, in terms of the ongoing struggle to find your own identity. How does the season playing out for you so far? Where do you see it going?
I mean, so far it's been a little rough. Jack having no powers, I think, is a real adjustment for him. And really difficult for him to deal with kind of just being a half human. So that's kind of been a struggle so far, you know?
And Jack is like one of the most powerful creatures in creation, right?
I mean, it used to be, yeah.
That must be cool.
It's really cool to like have all these things going for you and then to just lose them all. So yeah, I feel good. I feel good, guys.
That is
the most-
like the Chris Farley interview.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
that's awesome.
So that's awesome.
I think I read their questions earlier, so I'm gonna butt in.
Yeah.
Is the most difficult part playing the son, the spawn of Lucifer, or when your cast members keep on trying to kick you in the crotchal region when you're on camera? What's the most difficult part?
You know, Jack is going through a lot of struggles right now. So knowing that I maybe kicked in the balls at any given time really helps me focus, on the loss and the pain that I'm dealing with at all times.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys so much. I'm so happy,
I feel very comfortable speaking to that. I went down on set at the end of last year and watched you guys doing a scene with Alex, and I have never seen more abuse at the hands of two grown men. And a poor guy who's just trying to cut his teeth on the show and do what he does, and it's unbelievable. And I literally went upstairs and reblocked every scene I had with you guys. I'm like, I need Padalecki over there, and I need Calvert over there. Because that's just a bad recipe. You
Well, it's happened to all of us, really.
Well, I've never gotten the Padalecki treatment.
Really?
No.
Oh, he's played a mean game of footsie with me under the table.
Is that
Try
what we're
playing
calling
God when
it?
you got his
Wow.
foot in your crotch. Guys, but back to the, so really this is a question for the writers, Eugenie and Brad, Bob and Andrew. What's Michael's plan? What's his agenda?
Where do we see that going this year? Eugenie? Miss Eugenie?
Brad?
Well, this falls under the incredibly long list we had of do not reveals. So we all saw what Michael did in the previous world, which was not a good thing. So what is his agenda here? I mean, Michael called what he did in the last world was pretty much decimated. He called that purifying the planet. So what is his version of purifying the Earth? We've seen him doing a question and answer at the outset of the piece that you just saw. So he's curious as to what humans want out of this. And now, because there is no angels to really pull together to be an army of angels as he had on the previous planet, he has to make do with what he has here. And so that's a big question that's hanging out there. Who is he going to organize as his support unit for whatever he's going to do to Earth? So he absolutely has a plan. It's going to begin to unfold. We're going to see him doing the recruitment of whoever he has to recruit to be on Team Michael. And so that's going to unfold very quickly in the first few episodes.
Cool.
He's got to be pretty stoked to look like Jensen, though. That's got to be pretty cool. Hey, buddy.
What's up, Rob?
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
You know, I was just thinking about when we were talking about Alex and him being one of the most powerful creatures or things on the show, and now he's not. Generally, we get rid of those kind of omnipotent characters, and they don't really come back. And so I think it was a really nice way for the writers to find a way for Alex to stay on the show. I think it just speaks volumes to
his performance,
to Alex and the skills that he possesses. Anyway, just food for thought.
His youth, his sort of vibrant manner. I mean, his raw talent, obviously, things that would make the writers.
I mean, don't get the wrong idea. He's still going to kick you in the balls, but
he clearly held Alex as an individual, as a person, as an actor, as a performer. Clearly holds some sort of powers when the writers cared about him enough to take away his proverbial powers. I agree with you, Jensen.
Yeah, those are all great points. Really good points. Solid